Boy one, Moose FM, Chris Walker with you, and back in the hot seat with none other than Trevor Bolin. Look at the guy.
Hey, no, not me.
Yeah, that's what happens when I take a vacation and never.
Here, you abandoned me.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, I'm sorry you had to put up with Bernie for a week, but you know what? Okay. I'm back.
Bernie liked it. He loved it.
Of course he did. It's Bernie. Just like everybody, though. There's nobody that doesn't love this segment.
Agreed.
I genuinely had more people walk up to me in a grocery store last week and say, "Oh my God, when's your next best buddy?" I'm like, well, when I get back, it's going to be Tuesday afternoon, 3:40. That's when we always do this stuff. So Trevor, other than the welcome backs and the us bantering back and forth about all things not best buddy, let's do a recap because
it's a good recap.
There have been a lot of things happening over the past few weeks.
So first off, I think anybody that I told that you were no longer part of the show, I apologize. Chris is back. So if we did bump into each other and I'm like, no, it's just the Trev show now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
back,
Chris got fired. It was only a matter of time. Totally get it.
Yeah. And they most of them understood. But we have huge news. So you know, we always like to recap, and I mean we do that every time that we're on the show, and once a week at this time we talk about some of the fantastic pets available for adoption.
Let's start all the way back. Rosebud. I think that's as far back as we can go.
Rosebud's the last of the 4 buds because 3 of them were adopted. So Bernie and I talked about that last week. Since last week, you'll see it on the screen right now. Of course, you listening, you're not going to see it, but you're going to watch this later. Rosebud has been adopted. So all 4 buds are in their forever homes.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Right? What a great way to start a recap. Who do we have next?
Next, we have 5. So
5
you and I talked about. Bernie and I.
That was Bernie last week.
Literally a week ago, we had 5 on. Look at this. Look at 5. 5 is such a beauty. And yes, 5 has been adopted. So we had 5 on the show. The show had thousands of views. It had hundreds of shares. So thank you guys for doing that because 5 has now been put in his forever home.
That's 2 for 2. And our last update then would be who? Dizzy.
Would be Dizzy. We had baby Dizzy on, and she also was adopted.
Oh my goodness!
So when we recap this, and I mean, I think this is a big thing. And I emailed Sarah at the SPCA, and I said, from what you're telling me, every animal we've had that we could get adopted. We can get them in their forever home. They are in their forever home.
It's done.
It's done.
This is the most successful thing that Moose FM has ever done. And let me tell you, we've had some success.
You don't even pay me. Right?
Maybe we should. What's that Bernie doing? I bet we can get him out of here.
Let's get Adam in here and figure out how I get paid for this. But you know what? Huge success. And number one, we couldn't do it without the SPCA, Bone and Biscuit.
Yes.
Moose Media, Moose FM. And of course, the listeners.
You, exactly. Whether you're out there and you're in your vehicle, you're listening from home through the app, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're watching this later and you're not watching it live, you're watching it a little bit later. We couldn't do without you. You need to tell your friends, your family, you've got to share the video. You're the person that might not adopt this animal, but it could be one of your friends. It could be because you shared it that's going to get these animals adopted.
And I think that's what's working.
And over the past couple of weeks, we've really harped on that. Is if they're not the animal for you, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. But share because that person is out there somewhere. We're at 100% success rate. We could not have asked for better.
We could not ask for better. And in keeping with that, we of course have a new pet today that is looking for his forever home.
We do.
And we're going to talk a little about him. So you're going to hear us, of course. Please check this out later on Moose Media's Facebook page, on YouTube. I mean, it's everywhere, right?
Absolutely everywhere,
So on your screen right now, this is Blackjack, this delightful kitty who's ready to deal with all the love you can handle. This little guy is the perfect combination of playful and snuggly. Always happy to curl up on the couch for a snuggle or keep you entertained with his playful antics. With Blackjack, you'll always feel like you've hit the jackpot. This little chatterbox has a lot to say, so be prepared for plenty of lively conversations. Currently in a foster home with both cats and dogs, as you'll see in the pictures, Blackjack gets along wonderfully with all furry roommates, making him a great addition to any household. One of Blackjack's favorite pastimes is watching the fish swim in their tank. So, you know what? You're going to get Blackjack, you're going to get some fish too, and that's not a bad thing. So his curiosity about water knows no bounds, and you might even catch him peeking in on you during the shower, fascinated by running water. So you're gonna have your hands full, but I think that's what you want. I think that's what you want to have in a pet is either going to cuddle with you, they're curious, they're excited. If you are looking to add a new kitty to your family, take a gamble on Blackjack. You will be rewarded with a lifetime of love and companionship with this little guy.
And I mean, we're just going through the photos. We're going through the videos.
Pretty quick.
He's so cute.
He is, yeah. He's adorable.
Not really a lot more to say about him. I mean, you've got a cuddly companion. You've got one that knows how to play. Yeah. You've got one that gets along with cats and dogs, has been well socialized.
Loves
and that's
fish.
exactly it. You could not ask for better than a pet that has been socialized and is comfortable in those spaces.
Agreed. Yeah. And I mean, the training, they're already got the training's done. So literally you pick Blackjack up, you take him home. It is nothing but love, companionship, and his forever home. So if you are looking for a kitten, certainly get a hold of the SPCA. You can make an appointment with them to go down and check out Blackjack. Share this post. You're going to see it on the Bone and Biscuit. You're going to see it on Moose Media. The SPCA always shares the show as well. So any of the Facebook pages that you're on, check them out when you get home. Check them out on your afternoon break, whatever. I don't even know what time it is. And get to know Blackjack. Again, we want nothing more than to be back next week to be able to tell another success story, because we are having phenomenal success because, Chris, you mentioned those of you that are listening and sharing the SPCA that's involved, Bone and Biscuit and their adoption program. This really could not be a better lineup of people wanting to ensure your happiness with a new pet and the Pets Forever home.
Now, one of the things that I know that must go through your mind when you're looking at adopting, or if you're thinking about this, is what are the expenses? Now, we won't get too far into the SPCA side, but how can the Bone and Biscuit help with startup expenses and with food?
The startup expenses at Bone and Biscuit are absolutely nothing. Under their adoption program, a majority of our main suppliers have already offered free food. They've offered free deals on litter or toys or a lot of things that you're going to need in order to get you set up. So, you know what? I mean, outside of the adoption fees, which I think are good. I think the adoption fees are good because we want to make sure that somebody's prepared to, pay a little bit in order to adopt these cats or dogs. And literally those payments, they're not profit for the SPCA. They're to cover the costs that's already ongoing and already occurring. So other than the cost of the SPCA to adopt and recover those funds, everything else to get you started is covered. So you don't have to worry about that. If you've got questions, the team at the Bone and Biscuit, 3 of the 5 have multiple cats. A couple of them have dogs. So they are pet lovers. They are pet experts. They are pet specialists. And from there, even the SPCA, you know what? You're going to get more help from them. It is not an adopt and done. This is a lifelong commitment. It is a lifelong commitment from the SPCA on your success of your new pet, from us, from Bone and Biscuit. We want to see your pet in your home, and we want to see happiness and joy. And we love getting pictures too, even from people who've adopted. We've gotten pictures from folks that said, this is them settling in. We love nothing more than that. So if you have adopted some of these pets, shoot us off a picture. Put it on the Facebook pages.
Absolutely, you should. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is, yes, we are working with the SPCA here, but when it comes to that adoption, you don't need to adopt Blackjack in order to avail of this adoption program. You can work with any of the agencies that we have here in our community, because there's so many.
There is. And you know what? It's not just about Blackjack. The SPCA, the last time I was in there, had, 35 other cats in there, and they've got other dogs, and there's always a bit of a turnover. So if Blackjack is not your kitten, well, you know what? I'll guarantee you they have one that is. So maybe Blackjack's the one. We hope that it is. If not, just give the SPCA a call, set up an appointment, go down there. I will absolutely guarantee when you see these kittens and these puppies, you will be taking them home.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you always think to yourself, you know what? Maybe I don't need a cat. Maybe I should go take a look. No. You're going to melt as soon as you meet them. Yeah. Trevor, thanks for coming in again, man. Anything else that we're missing before we sign you off this week?
No, I think, you know what? Welcome back. I mean, we said that already, but number one is share this video. Share this video on your Facebook page, on your local groups. I guarantee you will have somebody that will fall in love with Blackjack, and that will help us get another adorable pet into a home. And at the end of the day, that is our only goal here.
Like a YouTuber. If you like what you see, make sure you like and follow, subscribe. No, seriously, though, we will be back next week with another best buddy. Trevor, thanks for dropping in as always, my friend.
Thanks for having me.